The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stuart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rosacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I'm going to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Welcome. My name is Dr. Tred Rosacker, and I'm a doctor of chiropractic. And you have just tuned in to the next hour of my Slim Body Laser Spa health and wellness show, with an emphasis on how today's medical lasers are helping people to look better, to feel better, to have less pain, less inflammation, longevity, wellness, quicker healing, and at the same time, body fat reduction. Getting rid of those big bellies and those thunder thighs and those love handles and all of those areas of accumulated fat deposition. And, we all know where that's coming from. Yet, as it accumulates, it makes us very sick and it makes us unhealthy over time. And my mission and my goal is committed to that, to helping people to overcome when fat has accumulated for too long and your energy is, you need help. Basically, you need help. If you don't need help, you're not coming into the Slim Body Spa. But if you need help and the doctor keeps raising your blood sugar medicine and putting you on more metformin and telling you to lose weight, and you're thinking about having your knees replaced because your knee is bone on bone and you're 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight, it's a losing proposition, my friend. To replace a knee and still not get rid of that extra weight is counterproductive, and it's only making the orthopedic and the medical system some money while you get that knee replaced, but then eventually it will give out too because of the weight. And weight is inflammatory. It isn't just about weight. Body fat, excess body fat creates cytokines and it creates inflammatory molecules, which over time make you sick. And there's a whole host of drugs and medicines that they give you when you're sick because of too much body fat. And, if you could see me right now, you know that I'm a living proof of what you're able to do. I'm down to 195 pounds right now, and I've never felt better. My body fat is probably down at about 22%. And when I started this journey 15 years ago, I weighed 265 pounds and I was miserable and didn't even know it. And I used my laser, a red light, low level laser, FDA approved device, which targets subcutaneous fat and reduces inches every time you put it on. And as my outer fat, that subcutaneous fat, started to come down, I realized that this was I had a chance to do better here. And that's when I really cleaned up my diet and started eating better, and then turned it into a business model. And that's the history behind the Slim Body Laser Spa. You know, I've been there for over 15 years, and we've taken care of over 7,000 clients, happy people. And we have like 0 negative reviews. It's something that every friend, client that's ever come in, I meet face to face, and I do my own consultation, and you know, and we talk. I want to make sure that what we do is what you need, and that you have a desire, and that the process we do will be beneficial. And with that understanding is, I'm not doing it because I'm trying to sign up a bunch of people to make my number with the corporate. It's not a corporate position. This is my life. This is my practice. And I own it with my wife. And everybody that comes through there, if they're not happy at the end, I'm not happy. And it's hard to find that nowadays. It's hard to find that nowadays. Somebody that actually is an owner, that cares about the people that come in and still see you face to face, especially when it comes to medical. Everything is being siloed up into a big corporation. You know, try to find out who owns Cleveland Clinic, or the doctor that's in charge, or the doctor that's in charge of wherever you're at or what you're doing. It's almost impossible. There's so many other people that are doing services, and they just don't have enough skin in the game. I think that's one of our strong points. So my office it's called the Dr. Treads. And now I'm just going to do a little promo here about the office, and then I'm going to get into something that I think is really important. And that's called the creative principle. You know, and also the creative principle is also called the law of creation. There are laws involved with the expression of energy and the universe, how it unfolds, you know, evolution, how the earth is developing, how people are evolving in consciousness. There's laws involved. And 2 of them, one is called the creative principle, and the second one is called the law of creation. And I'm going to go over that today in about 5 minutes. So pay attention. And right now, I just want you to know where we're located. For those of you that just tuned in, are really interested in getting some help with your metabolism. Maybe your blood sugar is too high, and the doctors, everybody's harping on you to lose that weight, and you know you need to, but you need help. We have a free consultation at the office on East Ocean Boulevard. It's right across the street from the Fresh Market, at the corner, at the intersection of Monterey and East Ocean Boulevard. For all of you newbies in town, it actually is in the Carmela's Plaza, the Carmela restaurant. And I always say that if you come in for the consultation and it's not for you, you can always go get a nice slice of pizza next door at Carmela's. They got some great Italian food there. And there. So my name is Dr. Tread Rissacker. I'm the owner, and I'm a client at my Slim Body Laser Spa. You know, I lost 10 inches of belly fat. That's 4 inches of girth. I had a 40-inch belly, went down to a 36. Today it is a 32. And I did this. I lost the inches in only 3 weeks. 9 sessions in 3 weeks. I lost 4 inches of girth and about 6 pounds of weight. It took me 3 months to lose another 10 pounds, 3 months in a row. At the end of the 4th month, I was down 36 pounds. Looked better, felt better. Oh my God, I couldn't believe I did such a result in such a short time. That is what I offer at my spa for you. It's a program, and it really works. I'm using a non-surgical laser lipo. Now, this uses low-level red light therapy for fat reduction and body contouring. It targets specific areas without surgery. And that's really important. Without freezing, without burning, without having to have injections and micro needling and that dangerous Ozempic. We also include, with the non-surgical laser lipo, we include weight loss planning. Okay. And that's basically a personalized nutritional evaluation with me. I'll go over your food intake. I'll go over your body fat percentages, your resting caloric intake, educate you on the difference between a good carb and a bad carb, good fat, bad fats, what protein, how important protein is. And also the importance of saturated fat. They've been lying to you for a long time. If you think that oils, fried things, seed oils are good for you because they're low in your cholesterol, you are sorely mistaken there. Seed oils, canola, soy oil, anything that is made from seeds is toxic poison, making us sick. Absolutely 100%. And it says heart healthy. It's a lie. And I can prove that. You want saturated fats, olive oils, avocado oil, coconut oil. You want things that are, natural oils. You want butter, ghee. You want animal fat. Could you imagine that? You don't have to cut the fat off the pork anymore. Don't eat too much, but you need that fat. That fat's good for you, man. Can't even tell you. So in my program, when you come in for body sculpting, we go over weight loss recommendations, and I kind of do a survey to see where you are with your nutrition, what you know, what skills you have, and how much help you might need. I'm not going to teach you something that you already know, but there might be things you don't know. And by the way, all of our plans include this. You don't have to pay extra for it. You pay for the laser, you get the nutritional help at the same time. Our program also has something where we do detoxification. It is a fact that we are accumulating poisons. We're being poisoned by our environment. We're being poisoned by the foods we eat. We're being poisoned by the things we choose to enjoy. If you call it enjoying, your toxins, right? It all has a toxic burden. You have to pay a price for all the toxins you put in your body, even if they're by choice. And over time, those toxins accumulate in your body fat. They accumulate in your fatty tissue. Now, there's two types of toxins. There's water-soluble, things you can rinse away with water, and there's fat-soluble toxins. Okay? Water-soluble, bacteria, viruses, a bad clam, you ate one of those cherry stone clams from up north and you get the diarrhea, that's a water-soluble toxin. Your body can handle those beautifully because we're in 76% water. So you get the diarrhea, you throw up, it's out of your body, it's gone. Now there's another type of toxin which is much more persistent, and that's the fat-soluble toxins. These are the toxins which come from petroleum products. 200 years ago, listen, we discovered oil as a culture 160 years ago, approximately 165 years ago. Rockefeller took that oil and said, I'm going to put this in everything, and he did. He put it in everything: plastics, clothing, cosmetics, pharmacological agents, paints, fragrances. All of the solvents and cleaners are made from petroleum. And also in the air and in the jets that fly over and drop those particles down on us, we're being slowly percolated with petroleum products. And these products go into your bloodstream very easily, just like you had a patch with a medicine patch, it soaks into your skin. Well, those petroleum products soak into your skin also, and we get them through our breath and we eat them. And what happens is they're stored in your body fat. They're not, your body can't expel them. You don't pee them out. You don't poop them out. They get stored in an area that is a safe place to put them. And the safest place is body fat. You don't want to store them in your brain. You don't want to store those toxins in long bones in your bone marrow. You don't want to have them free floating in your bloodstream. They'll make you sick. So the body stores them in body fat because body fat and petroleum have an affinity for each other. Water and gas doesn't mix. Well, body fat and petroleum stick together. So everybody's walking around with a certain amount of toxic petroleum-based poisons in their body. And this is one reason, probably the number one reason, why when you go to lose weight, you feel miserable. Because you can lose weight, you can eat less and your body will start burning off the fat. But remember, that fat is protecting you from those toxins that you've been exposed to your whole life. So listen to me. This is factual. Any weight loss program that does not handle detoxification, that isn't detoxifying you at the same time to pick up those released poisons when you start to lose weight, is doomed to fail, because those toxins are protected by the body fat. You don't feel them. You're not aware of them. You will get sick from them eventually, but day to day, you can survive. And as you start to lose that body fat and become thinner, which most of us want to do, those toxins become a problem. It's a very simple process. All you have to do is, there's herbs and there's things that you can do. There's teas, there's different products, antioxidants, glutathione, IV drips. We use herbs and fiber to help a person to get rid of those poisons while they're going through the process. So they take one of the supplements in the morning and one in the evening for the 30 days they're there, and which helps to get rid of some of those toxins and poisons. So it's a detoxification process. And we know that using red light and near infrared and far infrared light therapy is a super productive at releasing those poisons and those toxins. But you need a carrier molecule to carry them out of the body. Something has to bind with them so they can pass into your kidneys and out through the urine. And that's what these herbs do. These herbs bind with petroleum free radicals so you can then remove them through the urine. Now, I don't expect everybody to understand that. You're not a chemist, but I'll give you an example of how these processes work. Are you familiar with salt, table salt? We need salt, right? It's called sodium chloride. So that means NaCl is the chemical, abbreviation for salt, sodium chloride. If you separate that molecule of salt into sodium and then chlorine, you've got two really, really poisonous substances. The smell of chlorine will kill you with the gas, and a chunk of sodium that's not with chlorine will explode in water like a bomb. Yet when you mix sodium and chlorine together, you get something that is one of the most stable elements in the earth, and that would be salt. That's the magic of combining things together, that your body then can utilize them. Well, these petroleum-based poisons, these distillates, these forever chemicals, they need something to grab onto them to pull them out of the body. And that's what many herbs, vegetables, all these colored fruits, these phytonutrients, all of these things, they tell you to have a beautiful fresh salad. These substances help to scavenge and to scrape up some of those petroleum toxins, make a compound that you can pee out and remove it through your bowels. And it's much more effective if you can use a red light device or an infrared light device on the fatty tissue itself, because that helps bring circulation to it. It helps bring blood supply up. That red light causes redness, and you feel it. You can feel it gets warm. Well, that's opening up the fat cells. It's also dislodging, pushing out some of those poisons into the bloodstream. And then we use something called a whole body vibration plate, a shaker plate, and that moves it all into your gut, basically. Now, you don't eat 2 hours before you come in or 2 hours afterwards, and you're going to burn off those calories over the next 2 hours when you leave the spa. At the same time, you're detoxifying. And nobody does this. I promise you, you find someone that understands the detoxification principle, I will tell you they're probably your chiropractor, because medicine, they're just not there yet. In fact, they put more poisons into you in an effort to get your body to lose weight. And that's where you come up with these GLP-1 agonists, these semaglutide drugs. These are poison, and they have a mechanism. They stop your body from digesting, slows your digestive tract down, and thus you feel full longer and you eat less. But at what price? What's the price of that? They don't even know yet. I can tell you, I just did a study. I looked at some information. Already they've had 100 deaths associated with the use of the semaglutide GLP-1 agonists, people that had bad reactions. It happens. It's because a lot of people are doing it. You want to be that one to try? For every weight loss drug out there, they've taken them off the market because eventually they're abused and they hurt people. And I think this is going to be no different. That's what I'm seeing. So to summarize, we're using a non-surgical laser lipo to help shrink and reduce body fat on the subcutaneous fat. I'm also offering weight loss planning, and that's nutritional education. It's not something you have to buy. It's not auto ship food, and it's not some supplements. You got to pile down handfuls of supplements. It's common sense how to go to Publix and buy food and what to eat and when not to eat. Okay. It also includes a detoxification using infrared and near infrared light, and then the supplements to help get rid of the poisons. And at the same time, I also offer pain management. Now, pain is a side effect, not a side effect. It is a symptom of carrying too much body fat. When you're carrying a lot of body fat, it's inflammatory. And you know what? Your body aches. Everything aches. Your ankle aches, your knees hurt, your back hurts. You're winded. You can't take the heat outside. These are all symptoms of having too much body fat. Well, a person gets to a point where those effects of having too much body fat, they actually create damaged tissue. They destroy the tissue basis. And when tissue is destroyed, just like somebody that punched you in the arm or you twisted your ankle and you tore some muscles, that tissue has to be healed if you want it to get better. And there are ways of speeding up the healing, making it get better faster while you're losing weight and improving your metabolism. So we use the red light device in the near infrared wavelength, which is the wavelength that you can't see, but you feel the heat. And it's in a thing called a cold laser. And we can also treat the knee inflammation. We can treat the ankle problems, the plantar fasciitis, the Morton's neuromas, the neuropathy that goes down into both feet, which I've suffered with most of my adult life. It's much better now. And, because people need help overcoming the pain, because if they have pain, they can't exercise. The weight created the pain because of the injuries, and they need help with that too. Yet medical profession gives you pills. They give you drugs, anti-inflammatory medications. They do injections. They might brace. They might send you for some therapy. Have you ever tried exercising when you're 60, 70, 80 pounds overweight? How hard that is? So at the Slim Body Spa, we can treat those pain syndromes, knee and shoulder and back and, in the feet, with cold laser therapy. And it's a separate procedure. It runs between $50 and $300 a session, just so you know. It depends on how long you need it and how much time we spend. But we offer that. And I can explain that if you come in for that consultation. So pain management's a huge thing. If you don't feel good, it's really hard to keep the weight off. That's why I offer that. There's another process here called metabolic syndrome management. Okay. 10 years ago, I did not know what metabolic syndrome even was. I had to look it up. I heard it was affecting 40 to 50% of the population, but I didn't know what it was. I found out what it was. Okay. It's what most chronic disease right now, stroke, cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, hyperglycemia, and the dreaded dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, which is just ravaging us when we get older. These are metabolic problems. These are problems with nutrition, storing too much body fat, and having excess inflammation from the foods and things we're doing improperly that we thought were okay. And then it builds into a serious syndrome called metabolic syndrome. And it means the way they diagnose it is, if you're a man and you got a belly that's over 40 inches where your belly button is, That's one factor that says you probably have metabolic. It's central abdominal obesity. So 40 inches of a man, 35 in a female, same place across the belly button, not down by the pants. If you're on any medication for high blood pressure, that's number 2. If your cholesterol is elevated, that would be number 3. If you're having problems with triglycerides, either HDL or LDL numbers are off. Even if you're not on medication, that's number 4. And then you got the hyperglycemia. That means your blood sugar is elevated where it should not be elevated. When you have all 5 of those together, you're like a man who's jumped out of a burning building, is falling down, is saying, I'm okay. No, my doc says I'm okay. You know, they put me on meds. I'm okay. I'm okay. And then bang, you're not okay. We'll teach you about that. I will teach you about metabolic syndrome and what you need to do at home and in your own. I can't carry the whole world, but I will teach you what to do because it helped me. Look at my face. I mean, I'm a different person. So we have special programs for individuals with type 2 diabetes, hyperglycemia, and cardiovascular disease. Natural, holistic approaches. Number 6 is we're doing some regenerative medicine. Okay, now you've heard about regenerative medicine. This is non-surgical anti-aging procedures. And these are things that you can do using red light, using the lasers to help heal and repair tissue and regenerate new tissue, because that's the effect of energy, of good metabolism is rebuilding tissue. That's what metabolism means, to rebuild healthy tissue. So, you know, that is so important to know that. And one of the benefits of near infrared, red light, a chiropractic adjustment, a massage for my friend Sean Ringer-Meyer out there. I see you coming on, listening. She's an awesome healer. You know, this is really, really important to want to repair things, to make things better. And of course, we get results, you know, non-surgical fat reduction with effective spot fat reduction, body contouring without the risks of surgery. Think about that, man. You know, 10% of the people die in liposuction. 10%. Well, I have to be fair. Every surgical procedure has about a 10% death rate because of anesthesia, because of problems. So it isn't just liposuction, it's all surgeries. However, when you have something as safe and as effective as the Slim Body Laser Spa's approach, you should at least check it out first before you go have your body parts cut out and cut away. And you know, we're not like crabs. When you break a crab claw, they grow a new claw back, right? Humans, when you have something cut out, it doesn't come back. It's gone. So we're not like crabs. So surgery should be your last option, not your first. There's so many benefits to what we do. We can help you with the outer fat and also the inner fat through the dieting and the weight loss. And of course, the pain relief, which is a huge part of why we don't feel well. I've been doing this now for 15 years. Only this one process. Yes, I'm a chiropractor, but you know, I have a brother that's a chiropractor and a sister and another sister and a brother-in-law, all who work in Stuart, Florida. And if you need good chiropractic care, I will send you there. But if you need help with metabolic problems, body fat, body sculpting, you know, these other more chronic problems, you got to come to the Slim Body Spa. So we have a program called a Discovery Day session. That's a $49. Come on in, try it out one time. Now, I have to qualify you that I can do that and help you with that. But I want you to know that it's kind of a low barrier for you to come in and see the machine, have a treatment, make a decision based on knowledge and experience versus Googling something or following the latest clickbait on Facebook. There's a new one going around. Guy looks like he's covered in red light from head to toe, arms, legs, $49, whole plan for $258. I'd run for your life for that one. I would not do that one. Who can benefit from my Slim Body Spa? Mainly, anybody can, but people that are over 50 seem to be the sweet spot. Why? Because they're struggling with obesity. They're struggling with metabolic syndrome. They've had injuries and falls and choices that they've made when they were younger, and they need help. So over 50 with obesity, if you're suffering from metabolic syndrome or type 2 diabetes, maybe you're looking for a non-surgical alternative for spot fat reduction. Maybe you need pain management for musculoskeletal issues and you don't want to be having injections and being put on meds. We can help you there. And also, anyone who's seeking a holistic approach to weight loss and overall health improvement is our perfect client. Holistic means whole, not just a little piece. And that's one of our strong points. It's cost effective. It's a lower cost compared to any of the other surgical fat reduction procedures. Cool Sculpting for a full program is going for between $9,000 and up to $16,000, $17,000 to have somebody freeze your fat. We charge $2,800 for the full 4 weeks. And you get nutrition and wellness at the same time. It's completely non-invasive. No one's ever been hurt. There's no surgical risks. There's no downtime, and there's fewer side effects. It is a holistic approach. We focus on health improvement rather than just cosmetic appearance. And you get a customized plan fit for you who has individual health needs and goals. Slim Body Laser Spot. We'd love to help you. All right. I promised you something here. And today I am going to go over the creative principle and the law of creation. Now, why am I telling you this? Because your world, your reality, the way you see things, the way you experience life is created and shaped by your own perception, the way you see things, the way you accept things, the things that you think are true versus not true. It's something that you are creating. You're like the writer of your own play. The script that you're writing down is what's playing out in your life. And because of something that you might not understand, and that is the laws involved in the creative principle. There are principles and laws that substantiate and explain how matter comes into being. Okay. And matter is what solid, trees, people, thing. This is matter. Where did it come from? Why is it here? How come there's laws involved? And you are subject to those same laws, whether you know it or not. And gosh darn it, if you don't understand the laws of creation, you're going to possibly create garbage in your life and pain and suffering and misery. But just not because you meant to, because you were never told the laws and how it works. And I'm going to try to summarize that, but I'm going to give you one example before I do, because I got about 15 minutes to do this, so I can cover this in 15 minutes. Think of, the power that runs the universe and creates all of life is a power that, we like to call it in chiropractic a universal intelligence. It's also called innate in chiropractic. Well, in other areas, it's called nature, Mother Nature. All right. What's Mother Nature? Well, that's what runs the universe. Some call it God. Some call it a power. I can tell you this, nobody knows really where it came from. We can see how it manifests and how it expresses itself, but we don't know the source. So it's kind of unknown, but we name it things. However, just because you don't know where it came from doesn't mean you're not responsible, and you can be affected by not understanding how it works. And that leads me to the best example, and that would be of electricity. Electricity. The power plug in your wall and the power plant down the road, which is generating electricity, is very similar to that power. And here's one of the analogies. We don't know where electricity comes from. Nobody's figured that out. We know how to generate it. We know how to make electricity, and we know how to make magnetism with electricity, but we do not know where the basis is. You know, it goes forever and it's unlimited. And the way you make electricity, just so you understand this, if you take two magnets with a north and a south pole and you attach a piece of wire to either one of them, and then you move those magnets next to each other, a charge comes out of those wires, and that's how we make electricity. But we don't know where it came from. We understand the principle. And at the same time, if you take two electrical currents, two wires that are producing electricity, and move them in a certain way, you create magnetism. We understand that principle, but we don't know where it came from. Well, the power that runs the universe, you know, and so as a result of electricity, what we've learned is we've learned about the laws that govern how you deal with it, how you can use it to your advantage. And there's polarity. We know about having an insulator so you don't touch it with your hand. Think of if nobody knew that, how bad the world would be if every time somebody saw an open wire, they went down and put it in their mouth and bit down on it, they would kill them. But we've learned about that. And of course, electricity can fry us just as quickly as it can cook our food. We understand the principles. Well, here's the principles about this expression of creation. This creative principle has laws also. And to understand that is really, really critically important so you can live a life without being burned and damaged and hurt at no cause of your own just because you didn't understand the rules involved. It would be like stepping out on the road if you didn't understand that cars were coming. That would be a problem. And lots of people would die if they never knew about that. And when it comes to the expression of this power that creates life, and you're in charge of it, and it's your script that you're writing, you darn sure better know this stuff. Okay. So here's a definition of what the creative principle is. The creative principle and the law of creation are concepts, ideas in your head that suggest individuals have the power to shape their own reality through their thoughts, their beliefs, their actions, and their intentions. These ideas are often explored in philosophical, spiritual, and self-help contexts, and they emphasize the role of personal agency, of you being aware. It's your responsibility in manifesting one's desired outcomes. So if you want to plan your outcome, you need to know this creative principle. So the creative principle is an idea that every individual possesses an innate and inborn ability to create and influence their reality. This principle is grounded in the belief that thoughts are powerful and can manifest into physical reality. According to this view, the mind is a potent tool that can be used to bring about positive or negative changes in one's life. The creative principle suggests that by focusing on positive thoughts, clear intentions, and constructive beliefs, a person can bring about desired outcomes. So here's some key aspects of the creative principle. The first one is thoughts and beliefs. Our inner dialogue and our core beliefs shape our perception of the world and our potential. Okay. What's going on between your head when you go to sleep at night, these thoughts that are flying around in your head, and your core beliefs, the things you got probably from your parents or from the first religion that you got involved with, these beliefs shape your perception, how you see the world and its potential. Is it a positive one? Do you see the world as unfolding in a betterment of world and humanity, or do you see it cascading into chaos and hell? I'm telling you, the world is expressing itself to be better. If you need me to tell you that, I'm telling you that. Okay? We are evolving to consciousness, to a more better union. We're not going backwards. Okay? It might seem that way. Some people need pain to get there, but for the most part, think where we were a couple hundred years ago. So positive thoughts and beliefs can lead to positive actions and outcomes, while negative thoughts can hinder progress and create limitations. It is true, thoughts are either positive or negative. You can't have both. And so either you get up in the morning and you label things positive or you label things negative. A good example that was taught to me was, suppose you had a little Post-it pad, like these little yellow sticky pads. And as soon as you got up in the morning, you started labeling everything good or bad according to you. Okay, I've got to shave today and I don't feel like it. God, that's bad. I got up a little bit late. That's not good. That's bad. Well, I noticed that my breakfast was made. My wife kissed me. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. It's sunny out. I like that. That's good. Oh, I got in my car. The battery's dead. That's bad, And all day long, you're labeling everything good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Well, you're now stuck on the middle of the stick. The law of positive and negative. You can't, you're jumping back and forth from positive to negative, and that creates discord and it creates all kinds of problems. Instead of using your rationale thought and saying, yes, it is raining and it might be bad for me because I have to drive to work, but there's a whole bunch of farmers that are so glad that it's raining that they're going to be able to feed the world and help. So quit labeling things good or bad. Just live within. Just be. Wear the world like a loosely fitting garment, something that you can take off and put on when you need to. Don't be so judgmental about it, and you'll have a lot more happiness. Trust me. Okay. The other part about the creative principle is having the right intention and focus. Intention is what you want to do, and focus is staying hooked on it. Just like if you're trying to shoot a target, you got to stay focused on the target. You can't be looking all over the place. You got to have intention and focus. And you got to set clear, purposeful intentions. Write down in the morning what you want from your life. What do you want today to have happen? Do you want to have pain and misery and be in an auto accident? No. Do you want to have an easy trip in? You want to have great people that you meet? You want to have friends and have health and a nice night? Write that out if that's your intention. You got to write it out. Don't rely on the world to tell you what you need to do. So direct your energy towards specific goals. Focus on what you want to achieve helps to align your actions with desired outcomes. Another one here is visualization and imagination is how we help with the creative principle. Visualizing, seeing it in your mind's eye is successful, and imagining the realization of the goal enhances motivation and provides a mental blueprint for achieving them. Everything you see and in your mind expresses itself, so you better control what goes through that in your eyes and lodges in your brain. If it's not something beneficial and healthful and thinking about, furthering life and love and enjoyment and peace and serenity and helping others and being of duty to others, you probably shouldn't think about it. So turn off the TV if it's negative, and it's mostly negative. All right. We got another 5-10 minutes here. So I'm going to go over the next part of I think I'm pretty clear on the creative principle. We're going to go over what they call the law of creation. Everything is created, and there's laws that involve with creation. Otherwise it would be chaos. We wouldn't have minerals, we wouldn't have earth, and we wouldn't have vegetables, and we wouldn't have animals, and we wouldn't have humans. And, this was an order. There was a law of creation that created all of these things in perfect order. In other words, it started with attraction. Substances were attracted to each other, just like a girl and a boy is attracted to each other. There's a law of attraction. In the earth, it's attraction of electrons attracting and building more complex molecules. When electrons attract each other, they form more advanced compounds, and that's called organization. So the attraction brings it in, and when everybody's attracted, then you organize. Just like a boy and a girl, they're attracted, and then they organize their life so they could have children, and they organize their home, they have the right, the doc, whatever it is they need to have children, have a job, be able to feed, that's the organization principle. Okay. And then the next principle of creation comes into what we call adaptation. Once you have the attraction and you have the minerals, then you have to have the adaptation. You have to adapt to changes that happen. When you're a boy and a girl and you want to have kids and you have your house set up and your job, you might lose your job. Something might happen. You might find out that, you have extra help to become pregnant. You have to adapt to that. This is a law. You don't ever get out of it. It isn't like, and it makes you stronger. It makes you a better person. I used to say, be like a vegetable and adapt. And they look at me like, what does that mean? I said, you have to think about it, but be like a vegetable and adapt. The next law of creation comes into actually what we call the law of locomotion, being able to move towards things of benefit, being able to move away from problems. And that is really hard for plants to do that. And especially minerals, and they can't. So the ability to move away from things is really where the animals come in Earth. But it's also something that is telling you that you might have to move to a better area where there's no, where it's safer for your children and things like that. And of course, the end result of the creative principle is a fourth dimensional knowledge of higher thinking, of higher thoughts, of peace, serenity, health, enjoyment. It's trying to reconnect that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. All right. So we had a little bit of a loss of my signal on my Facebook, which will not happen again. I promise you, because next time I'm plugging this thing in. So we're here. Oh, there we are. We're back. We're back. Thank goodness. Sorry about that for you out there listening, because I see a lot of people tuned in. So, this final part of creation is the realization that you're one with the universe, that you're like a boat that rides through the water and you put out a wake. You're affecting everything and everybody when you do that. I love when somebody goes speeding past on the highway nowadays here in Stewart. It seems to be pretty dangerous. Everywhere's like that. They don't realize all the lives that they're impacting as they fly through traffic. And if they used an analogy of a boat going through the water with a wake, everything is destroyed by the wake if it's too big. They're affecting everything, even though it's behind them. That comes with the higher knowledge of this law of creation, that you create all these things. So the law of creation is often associated with the law of attraction, and it says that like attracts like. It suggests that individuals attract into their lives whatever they focus on, whether consciously or unconsciously. And it's those unconscious things that really get us. The conscious, I can pick and choose. Oh, I like her. I don't like that. I like that. It's the unconscious ones where we get in trouble. This law emphasizes the importance of maintaining a positive mindset and being mindful of the energy one puts into the world. And that would be the analogy of running your boat down the river at high speed with a big wake, destroying the docks, destroying people's boats, yet you didn't think you were hurting anybody. That's impossible. The law energy is neither created nor destroyed. It simply transmutes into something else. So when you go flying down the road and you go through a red light and you're trying to make that light, you are creating a negative expression, and somebody can absorb that energy, and it could be horrible. So you got to know that. The key elements of the law of creation include only a few things. It includes energy and vibration. Everything in the universe, including thoughts and emotions, is composed of energy and vibrates at a certain frequency. By aligning our thoughts and emotions with the vibration of what we desire, we attract similar energies and experiences. So when your radio station is in tune with love, support, health, and wellness topics, your radio station is going to pull in other stations which produce that output. Okay? If you're walking around with hate and anger and the world is terrible and everybody's out to get me, as a radio station, you're going to pull in those frequencies, and that's going to be what comes out of your radio station. That's what they're saying here. The law of creation also gives you responsibility and empowerment. The law of creation encourages individuals to take responsibility for their lives and the outcomes they experience. It empowers you to recognize your role in creating your reality and their reality, and to make conscious choices that align with the future that you wish to have. And then, of course, it requires action and alignment. While thoughts and beliefs are crucial, they must be coupled with action. I think Jesus said it perfectly. Faith without works is dead. All right? They must be coupled with action. Taking inspired action that aligns with one's goals and values helps to manifest these goals in the physical world. So, how to apply it in everyday life? To apply these principles, individuals are encouraged to cultivate positive thinking, set clear intentions, and take proactive steps toward achieving your goals. This might include practices like meditation, affirmations, goal setting, and visualization exercises. Additionally, being mindful of the language used in self-talk. When you talk to yourself, be aware of that. And interactions with others can help reinforce positive beliefs and attitudes. Deep stuff, but boy, is it neat. All right. You're listening to the Slim Body Laser Spa Health and Wellness Show. If you're interested in coming in and finding out more about what I do, I'm a doctor of chiropractic and I own the Slim Body Laser Spa. We're located on East Ocean Boulevard in Stuart, right at the corner, the intersection of Monterey Road and East Ocean Boulevard. We have a walk-in. Welcome. Walk-ins are welcome. Of course, you might have to set up a time to meet with me because I do a lot of consults. And if you're interested in understanding what I just went over about the creative principle and these laws and how to overcome body fat and how to overcome metabolic syndrome, and you've been recently diagnosed with heart, cardiovascular disease, they're telling you that dementia is happening, you're, borderline cognitive dysfunction, you need to come in and talk because maybe we could help you naturally and holistically. My name is Dr. Rissacker. It's drtred.com. Go online. You can't help but find us. Thank you so much. Yeah. Love it.